the recording now of the session. So I hope you can see my screen now. Hopefully you can. No news, good news. So let's pretend everything is working fine. So welcome to the monthly connectivity call today. So we have a pretty busy agenda, and I know that Raluca will start because she can't stay for the whole session. So I won't spend long explaining about the agenda. So the first topic is about the new firmware for the touch log. Then we'll have a quick reminder about the Excel program. We have a look at the sales demo website. The big focus for this quarter, as you know, is the data sharing. So we'll have a in brief session around the data sharing. We also have a quick view on what are the key customer features for the Lead Assist. There will be like a quick as well update about temperature graph tips, let's say, about that, and then Tracy will from TTP will do the experience sharing, and then at last we'll have a Q&A session so you can ask all your questions. So I will maybe mute all of you first if you don't mind, and that's just for the quality of the. Oh, I think it's all done. Okay, brilliant. So if you need anything, just unmute yourself. So we can start now. So Raluca, I will start with the new firmware for TouchLog.
Yes, thank you very much, Swazik. Maybe you've seen already the bulletin. I just wanted to make sure that you are all familiar.
Sorry, my mistake. I think I muted all of you.
And me myself included, yeah?
Sorry.
Good. So then I start again. So I was telling you that I hope you've seen this bulletin. It was already published. There is going to be a new firmware for TouchLog. This one will be also implemented in production starting with May. What is the main feature of this firmware is that it allows the customer to configure the TouchLog to present the minimum and maximum temperature values for each sensor during the trip. So if the min max option is enabled for sensor, let's say 1 and 4, the report will be visible. This report will be visible in the trip report. So you will see it here, how this is going to show on the print ticket. It's very important. This is a feature that needs to be enabled. By default, the feature is disabled, and it can be activating following the instructions that you will see in the installation manual, which has been updated. So very important, if you want to have this information on your trip tickets, make sure that you activate this feature. How you do that? You need to go and consult the latest installation manual. Also, you see in the bulletin the instructions about how to update the firmware. Everything is available on InfoCentral under the connected solutions, software downloads, and in this case, TouchLog. Any questions? Perfect.
What's the name of the bulletin?
I think it says new firmware for TouchLog. Let me see if I find it very quickly in my bulletins, because usually I have a file with.
Oh, okay, I also can take a look.
It should have been last week, but make sure that you check there. Swazik can send this in the meeting notes of this meeting.
Yes, no worries.
Definitely. Yeah. Also, please check the bulletins that were sent on the 24th of April. There is also a new firmware blue box, a new firmware for the blue box available. Any other questions? Okay, if there are
just on this firm, sorry, Ruka,
yeah.
On this new firmware, will this allow us to set all 6 sensors in the tracking for alarms? No.
This new firmware doesn't have anything to the firmware for TouchLog, you mean, or the firmware for Blue Box?
Blue box.
There is nothing to do with the TouchLog. In the new firmware for Blue Box, it's more towards the A series. There is nothing new for TouchLog.
Okay, just the last meeting we were on, I think so. It was said that we were going to be able to set all the if the TouchLog has, we have a customer with 6 sensors, that all 6 sensors will be able to set an alarm on tracking.
Oh yes, that's projected for wireless sensors release, which is targeted for June. At that moment, that will be available. Yes.
And it's only wireless sensors.
No. It's a package of releases. Let's put
Okay.
That's targeted for the summer release. Let's call it like that, which is planned for June in this moment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Swazik, I hand over to you then.
Yes, thank you, Marika. So now let's go to the next topic, which is the Excel program. So it's just a quick reminder about the training plan you have to create for your dealership. Just to remind you that there is a review in June. So if you want to send us the training plan that you have built up for your team by the end of May, then we can just check if you need your help in anything to provide you support. So it's just a quick reminder about this. So if you have any question about that, just let me know. Okay, I just remind you that basically most of the training plan will be around the academy connectivity academy modules. So all the videos you can have there, it's a very big support for you to build this training plan for your team. Okay. Okay, then sales demo website. So as you know, we have a sales demo website online. So it's separated from the real tracking system, but that's a copy of it. That's really like the duplication of our real tracking platform. So you can have all the information, I mean, all the functionality of the real tracking system onto that demo website. You have the link in here, so you have it on the presentation. So that's it has its own address for the website. And if you want to get access to this website so that you can show all the functionalities and the benefits to your customers about using tracking, then you can simply contact our support team. You will just have to specify then the type of access that you would like, because we have created 2 types of users onto that sales demo website. So you have the dealer user or the sales user. So basically the dealer user will be able to create some new accounts, for example, customer account, and the sales obviously cannot. So if you are interested in having access to this sales demo sales website, then you can simply call our support team. It's really helpful to demonstrate how the tracking works to your customer, and if they are just not familiar with the tracking platform, that's a really very good tool to use to show them how to get familiar with it. And then so obviously the support team will provide you with the credentials. Do you have any question about this demo website?
Hello, I understand. Is it the same? It was already launched, or
Yes.
it's something completely new?
No, that's the same.
Okay.
It's just like we feel sometimes that maybe not all of you knows about the existence about this this demo website, but there's nothing changed. So obviously when we have something new released, like a new functionality or anything released onto the real system, the real tracking, then the demo website is updated as well accordingly. So you always have the same functionality that what you have on the tracking system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question about the demo website?
Ludwig, what is the difference between dealer and sales access?
Because when you are a sales, it's kind of like you kind of have the same functionality what the customer would have. So it's basically you can have a look on the tracking list. You can have a look as well on the notification, the managed fleet. So it's kind of like you are logging in as a customer. That's basically the difference. When you are a dealer, as you know, you can activate some new units, you can create some new accounts, and that's really the big difference in between the two type of users.
Okay, so if I want to show this to a customer, I will ask for the sales type
Yes,
of access.
exactly. I would say that the dealer can it would be fine as well if you don't show the extra, let's say, functionality for dealers. Basically, the dealer users will have the same functionality that what you have with the sales user, plus the dealer functionalities. So it's really up to you. You can easily use the dealer user access to show your customers. It's just like you have extra functionality if you want to show to your internal people how to use the tracking and how to create a new account, for example. You already have that functionality within the dealer user.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? No? Okay. If you have one coming later on anyway, you know that you can always ask it at the end. So as we told you that we had in Q1 a big focus on the service assist. For Q2, we decided to go for a big focus on the data sharing. So we had an in-brief session for the service assist that was kind of like going through the functionality and how it works. So we thought about doing kind of the same as well, but we won't be able to go in much details on the data sharing. But let's see some few steps, very important steps that you dealer need to be told when your customer wants to have the web service integration, so data sharing. So basically, what I'm going to show you now is how, as a dealer, I can create, I can add the web service integration to an existing customer account or to a new customer account. There's no difference. So basically, your customer gives you a call and say, I want to get my data integrated with that third-party provider. You say no issue. So you make sure first that your customer is created onto tracking. If that's not the case, then you just create it. So you go on the 9 dots icon symbol, you select customers, and then once you have filled in all the information about the addresses, the name of the customer, and you have entered the customer admin email address, so that will be the admin user for tracking. Then you go on to the tab which is called Web Service. That's the one you can see in here. And you'll have a little box called Data Integration that you have to tick if your customer wants to get the web service integration. Okay? So once you have done that, you simply need to fill all the fields. So basically, if you have a kind of like a long list already of the most, let's say, used integrators that you have on the system, so you can choose from this list. If the integrator that the customer is using is not in that list, that you can just simply click Other, and then you will see that you have then a field that will appear in here, third-party web service, and you can enter manually the name of this integrator. It's very useful for us because at least we can keep track as well of what are the most used integrator, so we can see then if we need to if we plan any change about the way that we are doing the API, then we can easily contact the most used integrators and exchange with them and give them maybe more support and anticipate a bit more about the change that we will be doing. So it's a very important information for us, and it gives us as well visibility about what are the most used integrators, which is always important to know, because when you have a customer that wants integration but they are not very familiar about who can do that, then we have the chance to give them some few names and be able to tell, oh, for your country, these are the most used integrator we are working with. So that then they can just like contact them, and that's I think it's very good as well for the customer to have that visibility. So once you have entered the name of the integrator, then you have to fill in the IP addresses field. That's really important. Without this IP address, the third-party integrator won't be able to request and to call the data from our server. So that's very, very important. So you have to type in all the IP addresses in here. Once you have done that, you have at the bottom, you have all the details of this integrator. That's very important in case we need to call them for any reason. So you have to put his name, email address, phone number, and the name of the company he's working for, or at least the person responsible. It can be the person responsible at the customer for the web service integration. It can be this as well. So once you have filled in these fields, then you will have to send this form. So that's the form for requests for the tracking data integration services. So this form have to be sent out from you to the customer, and the customer has to fill in the information requested and sign it as well. So basically, it gives all the information about the third-party integrator that the customer is using, the contact as well at the customer if you need to discuss anything about the web service with him. And also you have the contact from the dealer. And you do have as well what is very important in the middle. You can see this little table. So it gives basically, it says one way where, sorry, it's small, but I will send you the presentation so you'll be able to zoom in. But it says one-way web services, two-way web services, or both. So basically, as you know, the one-way web services, what we call REST API, is to display the data. If the customer wants to have on the top of the data display with his third-party integrator, he also wants to have the functionality of sending two-way communication. Then obviously it has to be checked first with the integrator if that's something that it can provide. If the integrator says his customers, yes, we have the two-way communication available, then you just have then to click the two-way communication. If you want the two of them, you just click both. So you just want, if you want to have one way plus two ways, then you tick the box both. The two-way service, web services, is what we call the SOAP. That's the old, that's the kind of the old historical old API that you might know. Once it has chosen in between the one-way, two-way, or both, then you just sign it. That will be as well to accept the terms and conditions and responsibilities about the data sharing. And then once you have this document filled in and ready to go, you have to attach it into the customer portal. So in here, so you just simply click on attach file, and then you just select the form, and it will be then saved onto the tracking platform. Okay, so once you have done that, you simply click confirm, and then it will send a request to your support team that they will review first that the form is there, so it's well completed and signed. And what the big task for them will be to ask for the whitelisting of the IP address or addresses. It depends on how many addresses that the third-party provider needs to be whitelisted. So the customer support will just make that step into the system. It can take few days. I think it can take up to 5 working days. That's the official lead time for that. Once the IP addresses are whitelisted, then the support team will approve kind of your request for web service onto the tracking system. And automatically this will send to the administrator, so the customer tracking admin user. Remember, I told you that you have to fill in if you create a new account, for example, or if it's an existing customer, you have to make sure that the address, I can show you quickly, that will be maybe a little bit easier for you. Okay, so basically if you go on to, sorry, let's pretend I want to create a new account, okay? I go on customers. I go on the little plus. So you type in everything, all the details. As you can see, the web service tab is in here at the bottom. And what I'm talking about is this field. So these two fields, because you have to type it twice to confirm. So the tracking administrator email, that's the email that will be used for the sending of the REST API credentials. So that's really important that you make sure that this email address is correct and it's sent to the correct person dealing with the web service integration within the company. Otherwise, the credentials won't reach the good person. So once you have make sure that this field is correct, then you will have. Sorry, I'm just displaying my screen again. So once you have make sure that the email address is correct, then this email address will receive an automated email once the support team has confirmed and checked everything is fine for your request. And in that email, what you will find is the external customer ID. You will also have the web service username mentioned in there, and then you'll have a link. So the user will have to click on that link, logging with the web service username, not his own tracking username. That's very important. That's where the mixed up is always happening. So he doesn't have to log in as a tracking user. So if I have to log in, I won't be using my Swazik.Fanier, etc. I will have to use the username of the web service, so which is in the email. So you type in the username, the web service username, and then it will bring you to the page of the password. So you have the user will have to define a password for this web service access. Okay, so when the customer will have done this step of the password creation, he will need to share the information. So when I say information, we mean external customer ID plus the web service username plus the password that he has defined with the third-party integrator. That's very important. Without this, the third-party integrator won't be able to connect and get the data, call for the data. If the customer also needs to have the two-way communication, then it needs to get access to the SOAP API. So as I told you, we have two different APIs, the REST API for the data display and the SOAP API for the two-way communication. Okay, so if he wants to get the two-way communication, then the dealer or the customer. So if the dealer is doing the request on behalf of the customer will need to be in copy of the request from the dealer. That's very important because it gives us like a kind of like from a legal point of view, it shows that the customer is informed about this request. So that's very important to include the customer into your request. You send it to the support team. Okay, the support team then it will email the customer back with the SOAP API username and password. For your information, the external customer ID remains the same. That's why we don't specify it on the email. I'm not even sure that maybe that it is, but if you don't find the external customer ID onto the SOAP API email from the support team, that's because it's the same one than the one for the REST API. And once again, when the customer has these credentials and all this information for the SOAP API, then he has to share them with the third-party integrator. So that's the same. He has to give the SOAP username, the SOAP password, and remind the integrator about the external customer ID if that's needed. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, very complicated.
It seems complicated, but it's just like, let's say, it's just a question of knowing what your customer need from the beginning.
Yeah,
so
but
if
like
you say,
you start there with the IP address. Like, where do you get that?
oh, that's the customer. So the integrator will give these IP addresses to your customer. Basically, if they don't give, it's kind of like if they don't give their IP addresses, then the integrator won't be whitelisted. So our server will say, no, I don't know these IP addresses. It's trying to get data from our server, but I don't know it. I don't authorize it to get access to our data. That's really what it's made for.
The problem I have with this system is that the integrator and our customer keeps emailing me with problems with IP addresses and all this stuff, and I end up getting on to customer service. It's back and forward for a couple of days. We get all this sorted out, and to be honest, it's not something I can fix.
Oh no!
So I don't know.
Totally.
I'm not. I think there's a bit much to be putting this on the dealer to be doing all this.
Yeah, it's just I would say that if the IP addresses that have been given to the support team are correct, I would say that the first thing, if the customer is or the integrator is complaining about IP addresses not working fine, then the first thing I would do is just double check about the IP addresses that have been given. But then if you feel like you checked and said, no, it seems correct, like that's what we have, then the next step will be to have the troubleshooting form filled in by the customer, by the integrator, depending on who is in charge of the web service integration within the company. And then you forward this form to our support team for further investigation. You're right, there's no so much you can do and support as a dealer in here.
Yeah, we're the dealer. We're talking to our customer, and then they're talking to their third party. So it's just
you are in between. It's loads.
Yeah, you're in between, and you're trying to do
yes.
this. And then when it does set up, every time we get it is didn't get the password or the link. That's a major problem. And
so I would
don't
say,
know, can we get a copy of that as well? Is that possible?
I'm afraid that for the REST API, no, because it's really done automatically by the system. So it's an email we don't even see ourselves. It's sent automatically to as I've shown you, to the main tracker, customer tracking admin user. And that's why it's very important to have this email address correct. Then if it's correct, then we had the case where it has to be the spam folder has to be checked by the customer.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Do you think it's been blocked by the customer's email or some
yeah,
system
all the time?
or
And even when you create a new customer, and first thing you tell them, okay, you get an email now with a login, and it never goes there. It's in their spam, or it's stuck somewhere because there's no reply from CellTrack. You need to change that address.
Yes, we are in progress on that, so it should be changed very soon. So that would be a no reply at not CellTrack, but Thermo King TK tracking, I think .com. So that will be changed soon. Yes, we know about this. It's very confusing.
It goes into their spam or their junk mail all the time. It doesn't.
Yes.
That's why they can't. People are looking on phones for it as well. It's very difficult. So
yes, that's true. That's true. So yeah, I would say for the missing email, I would say first double check if the email address that have been given and what is on the portal, I mean on tracking, is correct. It can happen that there's a typing mistake. It can happen. We are all human. So that's the first thing I would check. And then second, if all seems correct, then yes, I would just tell the customer, listen, you're supposed to get an email from noreply@celltrack.com. I know it's not supposed to be, but it will change soon. But if you can have a look on your spam folder, maybe you can. There's a big chance you can find it here. And if then it doesn't work, we'll have to find a workaround, maybe change the admin customer account email address, but that's really like at the last resource. I would say like it's the last chance, to get that resolved, because it seems to be in that case to be an email system issue on the customer side. So yeah, so that's but the support team will be able to help on that. If that's another issue apart from the IP addresses or for the email address, the email that is not coming, I would say everything related to technical issue, I would send the troubleshooting form to the customer so that he can forward it to the integrator or straight to the integrator if you know him, and then you can provide all the information that our team needs to know to be able to investigate further and come back to them as soon as possible.
Hi, Susie. This is Shay.
Yeah, Shay.
Hi. Can I just make a few points?
Sure.
Yeah. So just in relation to some of the points that Andrew was raising there, and of course they do cause a little bit of frustration, but there are reasons behind some of them. So just in relation to the email address, people not being familiar with it and have been blocked in spam. So as Zeke said, it will be changed to something more relevant, but we also issued a MailChimp in multiple languages about a month ago, just to advise customer users how they could make sure that our email address is not blocked by their spam filter, so it will go through. The other thing with the admin user creating the password, it's very much in line with modern security protocols, such as your Gmail password or any social media password that a third party won't have access to it. So that's the whole idea, that the customer creates it and that they give it to the integrator, they use it for their in-house system. We have made some enhancements in connected solutions where we can very quickly do things like change the admin user if that's needed to make sure that the right person is getting the email, so that we've gotten feedback that was taking too long. So we are working on making some improvements to try and speed things up. But the main thing is that if the integrator does have any problems, if they could send back the troubleshooting form, because the reason sometimes it takes a couple of days is you're trying to get that information, and the information that they complete on the troubleshooting form really helps us provide a quicker response and see what the problem is and help them get it resolved. So if we could maybe, if they are coming to you and if you tell them just to complete the form and send it in to us, a lot of the times we in support can actually resolve the issue without having to get the help or request help from our developers or engineers.
Thank you, Shay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
To come back to the troubleshooting form. Yes.
As this is not a daily business for a dealer, and our customers are part of the process, there must be a manual. I think a multilingual manual which can be handed out to the customer, that he know what is to do.
Yes.
It's really complicated, And
yes,
if you do it today, so today it's no problem. I know everything, but in half a year, everything is forgotten, and I have to read what I have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hello, if I could add something from dealer side, Michał TT again. I won't agree because we have done, I don't know, 3 or 5 integrations already for the last few years. And for me, it's not an issue. The problem is that we as a dealer should do good follow-up to all regarding connected solutions. In such a case, data sharing, it's, I guess, our job to confirm that the customer had got credentials, know that he should forward them to the integrator, and the only issue is what was said, that almost all confirmation emails from no reply comes to spam directors. So we have to ask customer to do them by self, for tick forgot password, and to do it by themselves. I don't see any issue regarding that. If you would do that in a few months after, you would forget it. It's completely easy case to do for a dealer from my side.
Okay. And I just wanted to add to support this process. I know it can seem, as you mentioned, it can be kind of difficult if you don't do it very often, but we have made some few support for you to help. So there is a video anyway on the Academy, the Connectivity Academy module. I will send you the link again around data sharing, and we go through the process. It's a quick video. We go through the process of what I showed you actually, how to subscribe a customer. We talk about this form as well. It's a good help. I know that it's good to know where you have to go to get support in case you need to do something that you are not used to do pretty often. So you have this video available. I will put the link onto the summary, let's say, email I send you every time after the monthly call. And we also have these documents that we have shared with you a few times already, but I will send them as well to you. This is basically like a guide. So like, I am a dealer, and what is the situation? So I have a new customer who wants to get data to be shared with a third provider, a third party. That's what we just discussed. Actually, that's the situation we just discussed. So it gives in details the step by step. What do I need to do? So it can help you to go through the step of the web service integration creation. I don't know how set up, let's say, for your customer. So you have all the step by step. You have you know, it's kind of well detailed. If you feel like there are some steps missing or not clear enough, I mean, we are more happy than changing it, you know, to make it clearer for you. That's really for you. So if you have any feedback to give about this documentation, just let us know and we'll be happy to work on it. So that is basically what we have created. You have it as well for I am a customer. So to answer your question about customers are involved as well, and that's true. They have a piece of work to do as well on their side with the third-party integrator. So that's why we have created this document. So you can easily share it with your customer and say, listen, that's what you will have to do with your third-party integrator. So it gives you basically you can see here, like share the data sharing documentation with your integrator. You also like details about what will be the process once he has submitted his request. So I think these documents can really support you on a day. I mean, the day you need it, you know, and even if it's in 2 years' time, you can always access it. And we are here anyway to support, and the support team is here as well, and we're always happy to help. But I think that you can have easy access to support if you need it. So you have these two documents that you can easily share with your customer, and you also have the video I was talking about earlier on the data sharing that goes through as well the process. So that's really up to you to see which support make more sense for you. I heard about the multilingual and I take that into account. We plan to have all videos in multi-languages anyway. We have started, you could see it. We have done some how-to videos in multi-languages already, but we plan obviously to go on. So the data sharing is not translated today. We have loads of videos onto the new Academy Connectivity Academy module that are not translated today. That will be a next step to be done. Maybe we should think about having these documents translated as well. I don't know. That's really can you tell me your feedback? Let's say if you would like to have these two documents translated, then can you put in the chat box something or raise your hand? That would be just give me a good indication about what would be the need for translations. Okay, I give you some few seconds anyway to tell. So if you think these two documents, I am a dealer and I am a customer, around all the step-by-step process for the web service integration setup, if you think this should be translated into your language, just raise your hand into Teams, and it will give me an idea. So okay, so do you have any other question? Yes.
So it's Paul here. Just one question on that.
Paul.
Not too bad. No, are them two documents also available on TK Info Central?
I have to check where they are stored, but I think they are. I have to check this. I think that's the only place anyway they can be stored, because the connectivity toolbox, they are not there. That's definitely the case. So I think they are stored on there. We also send them regularly to the dealers when we see that that would be the next topic. When we see that some of their customers didn't migrate sorry, yet to the new REST API. That's usually what the document we send them as well to guide them through the migration process, because that's the second scenario. But I will send the link, Paul. I will put that link into the email I sent after the presentation, with the presentation and the link to the recording. That's a good point.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other question about this first situation? Let's say how to set up web service integration for my customer.
Hi, it's Fabian.
Hi, Fabian.
The process is clear and we have a lot of web services, but the process with the automatic email to the customer, especially for the web service, it's too complicated and it's too much effort for the customer. I understand that the password mail for the standard customer goes straight to him to create his own password, but for the web service it isn't good and it's too much effort, and the customers told us that they yeah, too much work. I don't want to do anything. And if I have a look on Edem Schmitz or something else, they say I don't have to do anything if I use their system. And I know it's just in mail, an email,
Yes.
but it's too complicated. Then they don't read the emails, so they don't see that the username is web service point user. So they think, okay, it's my password link, and create another password. And then we have to send the automatic email again and say, okay, please don't create our own password. We do this for you, and it's too complicated. And we need it very, very often. And it will be great if we can receive this email, yeah, especially for the web service.
Yeah, the issue that we have, for the confidentiality, of the data, we cannot send it to another person than the customer because he made the request and that his data is sharing as well. Now I would say I get you. I mean, I understand kind of, obviously, because it's kind of, for me, it seems to be a very small effort, to be honest, just to set up a password and then you can share everything with the integrator once, and then there's no need to come back on this later on. But I get your point. I think that's the only thing we can do is just, I don't know, just let them know in advance what the process is. And that's the tiny piece you will have to do. But I'm afraid that at today we have no other way to do it differently. Yeah, I'm afraid that I have no other solution. I'm afraid because it's really his data that we are sharing. So we need to have him, as Shay was mentioning. That's like your mailbox. I mean, you have to somehow at a stage put the password yourself. Okay, I take the point anyway, Fabian. And do you have as well for the other dealers, for all of you guys? Do you also have this impression that it's this email or this password creation is kind of like a step that the customer doesn't like, let's say, or would like to avoid, or how do you feel about this? Maybe they are all happy about the process.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so either.
My customers are the same.
Same as the colleagues are told.
Okay. So it's
I think
the same.
so they can.
Yeah.
In support, there's maybe two things we could do. So we, once there's a request for data integration, we can kind of maybe monitor the request and just wait to see if the data is being accessed by the integrators. So if we see that that's not being done after a couple of days of, the IPs being whitelisted and the emails been sent, we could reach out to either the customer or the integrator and see if they need any more help. And maybe we can think, is there any kind of way that when the request is submitted, is there any additional way that we can help the customer creating a password? So it can't be changed at the moment, and we don't know if it can be changed, but is it maybe just a simple case of us calling the customer or emailing the customer to explain it to them, just to make it easier for them? So I mean, if the dealers are saying it's a little bit complex, we can't change it at the moment, and I'm not sure if we can, but is there any way we can help the customers with it? So I'll think about that one.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. What do you think, guys? Do you think it would help for now? Because obviously we can't change the process anyway. I mean, we have to be realistic. I can bring that topic to the team, but until they have that maybe change, we know that we have to go with the existing system. So do you think that having the support team following up and contacting the customers would help?
Yeah, it'll be a help. It will be a help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I heard a no. No.
Nope. Sorry, no. I don't think that it is a good idea that the support contact the customer directly, because we have a lot of customers. They can't speak English. They don't want to speak English.
Language barrier.
They don't understand what they have to do, and they don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's no. We as a dealer have to contact the customer. That's at the moment the best solution. And
So then, do you think that instead of having the support team contacting the customers, do you think that support team could send like or contact the dealer to say, listen, we can see that this and this and this and this customer didn't connected with this web service credential yet. Can you please contact them and make sure that they are okay? Or what would it be better then?
We do it like this. We give a call to the customer and then we click on the forgot password button. But first we give him a call and said, okay, now you receive an email, please check your inbox. That's our process, but it's too much complicated. We have, I think, over 100 web services, and it's too much.
Okay, Fabian, I think because I can see that the time is flying actually, and we still have some few topics to cover. Listen, what I take that down anyway. We'll have a start with Raluca as well about what could be, and with Shay, what could be done to help to support for now. But we have to be realistic that we won't be able to change the system anyway, the process as it is at today. So I'm afraid that the customer will still have to do that extra piece of work. But we can see. Okay, let's leave it with me, and I'll come back to you about that. Okay, so I'll go very quickly to the REST API, to the SOAP to REST API migration. So as I told you, the REST API is replacing the SOAP, the old, let's say, SOAP API for over a year now, actually, maybe in 2 years, because time is flying. So as I told you, we still monitoring about how many customers do we still have with the SOAP API when they should be using the REST API. So what I'll do, I monitor that every month. So I will be sending the dealers an email to say these customers have to switch to REST API. I will also attach the 2 documents that you can see in here. That's what I showed you just before, and you have also the scenario about what to do if my customer needs to migrate to the new web service. So that's the situation in here, as you can see on my screen now. Okay, I won't go too much into details because I think it's kind of like it's the same process that what you have seen before. It's just that for the SOAP to REST, it cannot be done through tracking. So basically, because the tracking has been used already for the SOAP API creation, you won't be able to request the REST API through tracking, as we've seen before. So the only thing in here that you have to do is to contact the customer support, and they will basically provide you with the email with the web service username, and then the customer will have to do the last piece of creating the password. The SOAP external customer ID doesn't change for the REST API, so it remains the same. So that is basically what it is. So what I do, because we didn't go into details of it today, maybe if you want, we can go into further details the next call. I can integrate that to the next call, and we could be a good chance as well to rediscuss about what we have discussed today about the process itself. Okay, so I will show you now quickly about the Lease Assist. We just want to kind of highlight the key features for the customer. So as you know, the Lease Assist gives you the limited view of all the master customers units. So whatever it is, so it can be with them or it can be with their end customer. They have visibility on the current lease status as well of all their units, and they can also access the up-to-date engine hours. So it helps them as well to charge the customer accordingly when they are using the engine hours for invoicing. So the key features of the Lease Assist. So you can set up notification on your unit. So you see there's a little like bell icon in here. You simply click on it. Then you click on add notification, and then from there you can select, you can enter the name of the notification, the type as well you want, how do you want to receive that notification, and then you can select the alarms you want to be notified for, and that's kind of the same process that for like a standard notification. Then you add your contacts as well. Once you're happy with that, you just hit confirm, and that will be good to go. You also have the reports. As you know, you have 2 reports with this assist. So the master customer can access the engine hour reports. So that would be very useful for him for the invoicing step. So as you can see in here, that's how the engine hours report looks like. And it can be exported into different formats. And then you have the master customer commands history report. So basically, it gives the master customer visibility about what command has been sent out to the unit, to which unit as well, and who made that that sending as well. So who sent the command, and also you can have the status of that command. So if it's scheduled, or if it's successful, or if it failed. So that's really a too good report for the master customer who has this assist to deal with his operation. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rushing. I'm very sorry. I don't like it, but I just would like to have a quick your attention on the temperature graph. So we had some feedback, and they are true. Like, you know, when you generate a temperature graph report, then when you go on the graph and you unselect some data, and you want to make an export of this data, then it's like you never did any selection, and all the data are there. And so we just wanted to give you about visibility about how to make sure that only the field that you have selected are visible and are exported onto your file, Excel or PDF or Word. So the way the system has been designed that today is that you can do it onto the select data displayed. So from the run report screen, once you have selected temperature charts, then you select your vehicles, and then you do have select data displayed, and that's where you will tick or untick what you want to see on this report, the temperature chart. Okay, so once you're happy with the selection in here, you hit generate report, and then we can confirm that it will keep the selection. So as you can see on the graph, you only have 4. I know it's tiny, but you can still see some colored spots. So you can see that there are only 4 data that we have in here. So we have selected only these 4, and you can also find these 4 data onto the Excel version of the report. So basically, if you want to select and don't see all the data onto your chart, you have to do it from the run report screen. Okay, I know that it doesn't seem very user-friendly when you're on the chart and you can do the selection yourself, but that's the way it works at today. And hopefully we'll have time to cover this, but I don't want to rush Tracy. Hi, Tracy, are you with us?
Hi, yes, yeah.
Hi, Tracy. So Tracy accepted to talk about the Sawyer's Agro customer, so and his fleet management system. So I will leave Tracy going through the presentation. Let me know when I have to change the slide. Sorry.
So we've all been talking about data sharing. So today I'd like to discuss with you a solution where our customer wanted to integrate his traffic management system with his tracking system. The customer we're going to look at is Sawyer's Agro Merchants. Sawyer's Transport was founded in 1970 by Derek Sawyer Sr. That's his son you see in the middle. And they joined the Agro Merchants Group in 2015. Next slide, please. So the first thing we're going to look at, you probably already have covered this and know this information, but it's just to recap on how Sawyers use the tracking. First of all, if we briefly talk about what is a traffic management system. All our trailer customers are running these software packages to assist them in their traffic office, etc. However, it's not just the traffic office that's using them. With other departments, for example, they use it for their warehousing, their vehicle maintenance system, their tracking, and their accounts. So next slide. So there's various people within the organization use it. Slide, please. If you just click through each of those. So we have traffic, we have accounts, we have costing, maintenance, planning, warehousing. Everyone within the company uses the TMS system. Next slide. So fundamentally, the system stores information, and that information is to do with their fleet, all their fleet details on their trailers, their trucks, all their driver details, whether they're local, Ireland, North and South, UK based, European based. Next slide, please. So what do each of the departments use it for? So their traffic office team uses it to create jobs, build and plan routes, allocate costs, for example, shipping, because we are on an island. And then the management can use that to view to see how much an actual load costs them. Next slide. The accounts department use it because once the job has been completed, the TMS system links into their accounts package. In their case, it's a very familiar one, Sage. So therefore, they can invoice and email straight away out to their customer. Next, please. They also have it linking to a service and maintenance package. In their case, they use a system called Freeway, and it links in to program PSVs, defects, etc. However, it works on a two-way system. So in other words, if a trailer is in for a PSV, it will let the TMS system know, and then the traffic office knows they can't use that trailer. Next slide, please. Also, they have their own cold store. So the system then is linked for their warehousing staff. It prints off their loading sheets for what goes on to each trailer. So within Sawyers, what is the tracking, TK tracking and TMS link? So the temperature data from our system is sent through to the TMS. That allows the traffic office to monitor the temperatures on their chosen route. So I went through different reasons why they chose our tracking system, because the system they use is called Mandata. It has its own tracking system. So these were the main reasons. They said they didn't have any hardware costs. They get live information on the performance and location of units. They can change the set point. Our reports are very comprehensive and they like them. Because our sensors are part of the unit and part of the servicing, our sensors get calibrated at each service and the calibration certificate is given. So it means everything is contained within the one system. Next slide, please. Now, we're currently working with another customer. So this particular customer, he uses the Smiths tracking system, and we have tried and tried over the years to get them converted over to our system, to even take the demo, but they wouldn't do it. So we've recently found out what the name of their TMS is and that the Smiths system doesn't link to it. So we've then contacted Thermo King, and that particular system is used, that system that our customer uses has already been linked by another user. That particular system, it's called Stratum, is being used by a customer of Ballinlough. So I actually contacted Andrew and he kindly went through some of the detail on his customer setup. So we've now gone back to our customer, and for the first time, he's actually interested in talking to us about it. So it's just a different way of approaching a customer and how you could sell the tracking system. So if you went down this route, there's 4 steps that you need to follow. Find out which TMS system they're using, even if it's their own bespoke one. Contact Thermo King and see if an integration has already been done. Contact your fellow dealers if the system has been integrated for one of their customers. If not, still contact Thermo King and see what would be involved, because we have at the moment another customer who has created his own TMS. He has his own in-house software department, and they're currently looking to link in with our tracking, and he's nearly 400 trailers. So apart from the bespoke system, we've to date nearly 700 units linking through because of a link with the TMS. The one thing I would say is it might be handy if Thermo King could provide a document with all of the different integrators that are in the market that have got this link already set up, so that dealers can look at it and know once they go out to a customer and find out what system they use, then it might be an opportunity for them to talk about that.
That's a very good point, Tracy. Actually, we have started to communicate from, I think, in January, the list of the integrators we know that the customers are using, but from the, as I've shown you before, from the field on the web service tab, you know, where you have to select from the list, or you have to put other and then you type in the name yourself. That's really where we can get the information from. I would try to see if there's another way to find out some more, get some more information about the type of the name of the integrator that the others are using. But sometimes if you don't have the information filled in because it's not something compulsory, sometimes we have somebody putting other and they don't put the name of the integrator, so we miss that information sometimes. But I would check if we can get something that could help you on that. Thank you so much, Tracy, for that presentation. That's very, very interesting. I don't know if you have any question for Tracy. So that's a very good different approach, as we were saying that try to find out the TMS system that they are using is a very good way to approach them. And as you show with the example before, that's a good way as well to catch their attention if we can integrate the data with them, with the TMS system they are using. Obviously, as Tracy was mentioning, even if you feel like the TMS system they are using are not in the list, for example, of the integrators we are sending, always contact Thermo King anyway, because we might be able to help out and be able to do something for the customer anyway. That's a very good example of how you can get a customer, even if he's not very, very interesting in us at the very beginning. I really like this approach, and I liked as well the way that you have contacted your colleague Andrew in Badin-Low to get some more insight. I like dealers cooperation. Do you have any question to address, Tracy? Any information you would be interested in getting? No, looks really clear for everyone. Thank you so much again, Tracy, for the experience sharing. I know that we are over time now, and I'm very sorry for that. If you have some few more minutes, if you want to address any question, just feel free to address it now. And I will send you all the information by email anyway that we have discussed about. You're very quiet. I suppose it's all good then. Listen, thank you so much again for joining today and for your attention. Sorry for the overtime. I will send you an email as usual with the link to the recording and the presentation and all we have discussed about. So I will send you some few links for documentation we've been through. And if you have any question that you want to address, feel free to send us an email. I will gather the questions and I will send the answers to all of you so that we can share the knowledge all together. And if you have any need for the next session in May about any topic you would like us to cover, feel free to address it to me, and we'll make sure that it's in the agenda for the next monthly call. So thank you again for joining today, and take care, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Fatik. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.